Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spider Hands and welcome to SP Reviews, where today we have ourselves a track from an act named hashtag 970 or 970 titled Percoset. And if we switch over to here, I'm tempted to say Percoset, but either Percoset or Percoset. Either way, we're going to listen through this track from start to finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. Oh, we got some sub bass in there with some plugged instruments. Oh, some vocal chops. Oh, and the 808s are coming in strong as well. Oh, also, just full disclosure, I don't typically talk about the music videos I'm watching during these reviews just because I'm not as knowledgeable about how music videos are made or produced. However, if I see something cool, I'll usually talk about it, so sweet.
Aquí somos Corona, quiz, nigga, me meto una Perco y mañana me moto y te olvido.
The guy's got sick flow. I'm really enjoying the way that he phrases himself. I speak a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to really get a good grasp of what's being rapped here or sung here. But we'll see how we go. I might pick up some bits.
Me meto una Perco, ando con los tribus de los míos. Mañana me voy. Mañana te mato y te olvido. Me queda con calma, que tengo dos palos. Cámara perro, tranquilo hermano. Antes que nada, dame la mano.
I'm liking the production as well here with the voices coming on that side and on both. It's nice to have that movement through the song and for it to be semi-unpredictable and to not really know what to expect. See, I learned the bad words. Some parts of it I'm getting. The vocals are sometimes quite quiet. I'm not always hearing everything. I think maybe it's a stylistic thing. Maybe it's because they're panned to the left or the right and they're a little bit quiet to compensate some of the other elements in the mix.
Somos Corona, corremos la zona, 18 pa' abajo, el culo pa' abajo, gang, te mamo tú vas, pa' donde tú vas, te chingo tu perra, le doy por atrás, me meto una Perco, los BK pa' mí, me maman el huevo, gang, gang, nigga, que lo quema, nigga, ando aquí contigo, te rompemos, nigga, ando con los míos.
I don't know, man. Like, my best guess of what the song is about at this point is that it's about the lifestyle of these guys, what they do to enjoy themselves. You got like cars and women, them strolling around the place, looking at all the fancy sort of like architecture and the landmarks and everything. You've also got some really fun editing. Like, whoever did the editing on this video clearly had a great time with it. And yeah, I can tell they had fun with it just because of all the different effects, and it seems like they had a lot of freedom to do what they wanted to in regards to the video editing.
Hey, where you at, nigga? ¿Dónde está, nigga?
Where you're at, and having that in both languages is kind of cool. Having a bit of English in there and having a bit of Spanish in there as well.
Gang, nigga. Perco gang, nigga.
You got quite a catchy musical theme here with plucked instruments. I'm not sure specifically what that kind of string part is. You got the bass looping back, boom, 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 boom. You know, or boom, boom, boom. You know, that's a really simple bass line, but it's flexible and it's nice not to have that all the time. 970 or 970 or hashtag 970. They understand that you can't just have everything being sort of thrown at the listener all the time. You got to stage songs and have them in bits and pieces so that the energy level isn't the same, so that things don't become boring or overwhelming. It's great that we have a lot of change in development and modulation within this track.
My big papas, I don't care. The thing is that I'm gonna broke your little ass every day, every time, every day, every time. I don't care. if you cry every day. I don't care if you say to
If you cry,
your mom or your dad, you're gonna remember me any day. You're gonna remember me anytime. You're gonna remember me any day. You're gonna remember me any.
CDE Corp. Excellent. Since 1995. Crisscross 95 CA. Excellent. Excellent. No, I enjoyed this. Solid production, to be honest. I really appreciate the work that went into the musical theme and the various other elements of the mix. The vocals, you know, they're in different positions, like on the left and right of the stereo field. You had some modulation, some vocoding occasionally, and that's it. That's the track, though. Cool. You've also got X970 here on Spotify. I'll put a link of that at the end so you can check out he's put out a lot of material, a lot of songs over the last few years. So if you're interested in hearing more of what they're doing, Percoset. Yeah, it's got 8,000. That's great. Well done on getting this amount of attention. That's fantastic. Awesome. Yeah, it's very professional around. I suppose if we go into the conclusion, in regards to the conclusion, I think that the song, I mean, I've already spoken what I think the song is about. It's about talking about themselves, an artist as a musician, what they're up to. That part of the end, not caring about your mom or your dad, or if you cry and stuff like that. Talking about how they're going to make it and how they're going to, I suppose, make the gains they need to in their career. Again, it limits my understanding of the track because I don't speak Spanish natively, but that's the general vibe of what I think this is about. The music itself, in regards to the bass, the drums, it has that characteristic swagger that I'm the king and you need to respect me kind of vibe about it. It was very clearly incorporating some modern hip hop and rap elements. I think that it handles itself really well in comparison to a lot of the other hip hop I've listened to. Again, I enjoyed the vocals. I think that they were handled really well. Great sense of humor to them in the story from the English parts I could hear, as well as the Spanish bits. Fantastic emoting going on. You could hear when there was clear intent, and you could also hear when he was playing around. And the flow, well, you guys had some sort of triplets going on, eighth note triplets, we add those, again, a lot of modern sort of hip hop and rap elements, so kind of verging on the trap stuff as well. We love those triplets, but the words were said clearly. The only thing, as I said, was I think that sometimes the vocals were a little bit quiet in the mix. But then again, it could just be these headphones. We had a structure. I think we had a few verses and a few hooks in there combined with some instrumental elements. For 2 minutes 35, man, that's a lot of content to squeeze in there. And I think the addition of a video as well is fantastic. But I think the song also handles itself fairly well by itself. You know, you don't need to go and shove. You don't need to shove a mass amount of filler into a song in order to make it meaningful. It's great the length it is. At 970 with who was it? Yeah, we had CDE Corp as well involved with that. I'm assuming that's CDE Corp Productions or something along those lines. It's definitely the YouTube channel this is on. In regards to instrumentation, again, we had one sort of main musical theme or concept which was kept throughout, and bits were taken away and added. We never really, we got to the main heat of it in the first minute and kind of kept that as the high point. I think that was a smart move. It was catchy enough, and it was obviously musical. There weren't any sort of weird chromatic notes or anything like that. I think it made sense musically. I think if the song had been any longer than like 3 minutes, you would have maybe needed to throw in a different chord progression or maybe just a different section altogether to kind of justify the length. But for what it is, it's fantastic. It's great. Additionally, the production, the recording, mixing, and mastering was well handled. I have a lot of love for what they were trying to accomplish here. It sounds very professional. Aside from the vocals being a little bit quiet in the mix occasionally, all in all, I'm very happy with what I've heard here. The bass and the drums and the guitar and the other elements, like not necessarily guitar, the stringed elements, they sat really well in the mix together. And I know that they can mix vocals because of the way the vocals are modulated to go down an octave sometimes, and the way the panning sounded reasonably consistent throughout. And the song was nice and loud, it pumped. It wasn't any weird flattening caused by being a little bit too overzealous or any sort of distortions or whatever. Flattening caused by the limiter being overused or something like that. Yeah, I've got no real complaints about this track aside from the small nitpicks that I put forward. Again, maybe if I understood the language a little bit better, I'd understand the story a bit better. But from what I heard, and I like it, I like the attitude of it. I think it's kind of dope, and I wish X970 the best of luck in future along with CDE Core. But that is effectively my review of 970's music, titled Percoset or Percoset. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please do go show X970 some love or hashtag 970 some love via their various social medias and Spotify and YouTube page. And stay cool and stay safe. And please also remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as you need to have more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on. I'll catch you in the next review. Spider hands out.